page 16.3, chapter 16, typologies of constitutions, to Constitution of the United States of America, page 16.4. I repeat again, chapter 16, typologies of constitution, page 16.4, to Constitution of the United States of America. One time Britain's colonies fought for independence in 1776 and became the United States of America with initial 13 colonies. 37 new states joining later. It is a country with 50 states and one distinct federal republic with strong democratic tradition. The Constitution of the United States became effective on March 4, 1789. With separation of powers and checks and balances, the United States has the executive branch headed by the president elected for a 4-year term, both head of state as well as head of the government. The vice president and the cabinet helps the president in administration. The legislature, with legislative powers of the Union, consists of the Senate with 100 members and the House of Representatives with 435 members, both houses directly elected. The Senate is a permanent house whose members are elected for a period of 6 years, 1/3 retiring every 2 years, and the House of Representatives is composed for a 2-year term. The Supreme Court, as the federal court, consists of 9 judges appointed by the President and for whole life, though each judge retires at the age of 70 from active service. The U.S. Constitution is the supreme law of the land, though adopted in 1787. It became effective on March 4, 1789. It is the most brief written document with only 7 articles. The amending procedures is fairly difficult, in which both the nation legislature and the states legislatures can initiate the amendment and participate in the procedure with absolute majority. So far, 27 amendments have been made. The separation of powers theory democrats the 3 powers and entrusts them to these different bodies, within bracket legislative powers with the 2 houses of Congress, Article 1 executive powers with the President, Article 2 the judicial power of the Supreme Court, Article 3 and the system of checks and balances neutralizes the evils of the separation device. The US has a republican and a presidential form of government. People elect the representatives at each level. The federal system, as adopted in the United States, works on the principle of decentralization. The powers of the national government have been specified, while the residue powers are with the states. Though the Constitution grants equal powers to both the houses of the American legislature, within bracket Congress, the Senate has emerged to be not only the most powerful second chamber in the world, but also more powerful than the House of Representatives. There is the judicial review power with the Supreme Court, making it almost the 3rd chamber of the Congress, within bracket Lasky, with powers to declare any law, decree or treaty as invalid. The US has a 2-party system, but unlike those in the United Kingdom, they are ideologically not very dissimilar. The Bill of Rights has been ensured by the first 10 amendments. Fairly a federal system, there has been a tendency towards empowering the national government over a period following the implicit powers. The Supreme Court decisions and certain amendments like 14th Amendment within bracket citizenship and 16th Amendment taxation have strengthened the position of the federal government. The US Congress is the legislature of the federal government of the United States. It is bicameral, consisting of a Senate and House of Representatives. The House of Representatives has 433 voting members, with each member representing a congressional district and serving a 2-year term. House of seats are apportioned among the states on the basis of population. The Senate has 100 members serving 6 years term, 1/3 returning every 2 years. Both the senators and representatives are elected through direct election. Within bracket 17th Amendment 1913 provides for direct election of the senators. Bracket closed. Article 1 of the Constitution sets forth most of the powers of Congress, which include numerous explicit powers enumerated in Section 8. Constitutional amendments have granted Congress additional powers. Congress also has implied powers derived from the necessary and proper clause of the Constitution. Congress has authority over financial and budgetary matters. Through the enumerated power to, within inverted comma, lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts and exercises, to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States, inverted comma closed, within bracket power of the parts, inverted comma bracket closed. The 16th Amendment extended power of taxation to include income taxes. The Constitution also gives Congress power over appropriating funds, with all government spending required to include in congressional appropriations. This power is an important way for Congress to keep the executive branch in check. Other powers granted to Congress include the authority to borrow money on the credit of the United States, regulate commerce with foreign nations and among the states, and coin money. Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitutions. 2, that is Constitution of the United States of America, page 16.5. The Constitution also gives Congress an important role in national defense, including the exclusive power to declare war, to raise and mention the armed forces, and to make rules for the military. Congress also has the power to establish post offices and post roads, issue patents and copyrights, fix standards of weights and measures, establish courts inferior to the Supreme Court, and, within inverted comma, to make all laws which shall be necessary and proper for carrying into execution the foregoing powers and all other powers vested by the Constitution in the government of the United Nations or in any department or officer thereof. Inverted comma close. Congress also has the power to admit new states to the Union, within bracket Article 4 bracket closed. One of the foremost non-legislative functions of the Congress is the power to investigate and to oversee the executive branch. This is called congressional oversight. This power is usually delegated to United States congressional committees, standing committee, select and special committee, select committee or joint committee composed of members of both houses. Congress also has the exclusive power of removal, allowing impeachment and removal of the president. The Constitution entrusts certain powers to the Senate alone. The President may only nominate for appointment of cabinet officials, judges and other high officers within inverted comma by and with the advice and consent of the Senate. The Senate confirms most presidential nominees, but rejections are not uncommon. Furthermore, treaties negotiated by the President must be ratified by a 2/3 majority vote in the Senate to take effect. The House of Representatives has no formal role in either the appointment of federal officials or the ratification of treaties, though money bill must originate first in the House of Representatives, and yet the Senate has the power to make changes in the budget except the title. A term of Congress is divided into 2 sessions, within inverted comma, one for each year. Congress has occasionally also been called into an extra within bracket or special bracket close session. Within bracket, the Constitution requires Congress to meet at least once each year, bracket closed. A new session commences on January 3 within bracket 1 or another date if Congress so chooses, bracket close, if each year and is dissolved on a date decided by both the houses. In case there is a disagreement over the date of dissolution, the President decides the date. The quorum is the majority of the members of each house. Each bill goes through several stages in each house. The first stage involves consideration by a committee. Most legislation is considered by standing committees, each of which has jurisdiction over a particular subject matter, such as agriculture or appropriations. The House has 20 standing committees. The Senate has 16. In some cases, bills may be sent to Senate committees, which tend to have more narrow jurisdiction than standing committees. In the case of deadlock between the two houses, there is a provision for a joint committee consisting of equal numbers from each house. The President of the United States is the head of the state and head of the government. He heads the executive branch of the federal government, enforces laws. He is also the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He is more or less like the British king or more or less like the British Prime Minister within bracket Lasky. Article 2 of the Constitution sets the qualifications required to become President. President must be natural-born citizen of the United States, at least 35 years old, must have been resident in the United States for at least 14 years. Citizens at the time of adoption of the Constitution were also eligible to become President, provided they met the age and residency requirements. While not an official requirement, the vast majority of presidents had prior experience as vice presidents, members of Congress, governors, or generals. In addition, 31 of the first 42 presidents served in the military, all but one of them, James Buchanan, as an officer. Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitutions. 2. Constitution of the United States of America, page 16.6. Though the President is elected in the month of December, in the leap year, the members of the Electoral College are elected by the US voters in the month of November. The campaign starts from the month of May. Nominees participate in nationally televised debates, and while the debates are usually restricted to the Democratic and Republican nominees, third-party candidates may be invited, such as Ross Perot in the 1992 debates. Nominees campaign across the country to explain their views, convince voters, and solicit contributions. Much of the modern electoral process is concerned with winning swing states through frequent visits and mass media advertising drives. The Electoral College consists of the member equal to the members of the two houses of the Congress, that is 100 plus 435, and 3 members from the District Columbia. Thus, there are 438 members who elect the President and the Vice President. They are elected by the voters in their respective states. The President is elected for a period of 4 years. The 22nd Amendment bars the Presidents from being elected for more than 2 terms. The upper time limit is 10 years. The President can be removed through impeachment initiated by the House of Representatives and tried by the Senate. Resolutions in both the houses have to be passed by 2/3 majority. 2 presidents have been impeached by the House, within bracket Andrew Johnson in 1868 and Clinton in 1998. Neither was convicted by the Senate. The US President is the chief executive of the United States, both as head of the state as well as head of the government. It is his responsibility to take care that the laws be faithfully executed. For the purpose, he makes appointment. Around 6,000 appointments are made by the incoming President and another 88,000 while he is in the office. Some of these appointments the President makes of his own, within bracket the the spoil system bracket closed. Some others which demand the approval of the Senate within bracket ambassadors, judges, cabinet members bracket closed, while still others on the recommendations of the service commissions. The President can send message to the service commissions. The President can send message to the Congress, and by doing it he influences the legislative proposals to be passed. The bills passed by the Congress have to receive the President's approval within 10 days, under which period he can send the bill back. This veto can be overridden by 2/3 of both houses of the Congress. If the session of the Congress is dissolved within the stipulated period of 10 days, the President can throw the bill in the waste box. Of all the presidents, F. Roosevelt used 634 total vetoes within bracket 372 regular vetoes, 263 pocket vetoes, and few of his vetoes were overridden bracket closed, while Monroe used only one veto, which was a regular veto. Though the power to declare war is constitutionally vested in the Congress, the President commands and directs the military and is responsible for planning military strategy. The Vice President of the United States is the first in the presidential line of succession, and in the event of the death of the President, the Vice President succeeds the President for the remaining period of time. The 12th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution requires the Vice President to have the same qualifications as the President. The same electoral college which elects the President also elects the Vice President. He presides over the meetings of the Senate and acts as the President when he is unable to do his duties. 9 Vice Presidents have succeeded to the Presidency, while 4 sitting Vice Presidents were elected to the office of the Presidency. There is no reference of the U.S. Cabinet in the Constitution. It is by convention that the U.S. Cabinet has come to stay. All the members of the Cabinet are appointed by the President, and they all are responsible to him. There is no collective responsibility in the United States, but only individual responsibility, and that too towards the President. The U.S. Supreme Court is the highest judicial body in the United States. It consists of 9 judges, including the Chief Judge. Article 2 of the Constitution gives the President power to nominate justices, who are then appointed within inverted comma by and with the advice and consent of the Senate, inverted comma close. Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitution, 2, that is Constitution of the United States of America, page 16.7. As a general rule, presidents nominate individuals who broadly share their ideological views. In many cases, a justice's decisions may be contrary to what the nominating president anticipated. A famous instance was Chief Justice Earl Warren. President Eisenhower expected him to be a conservative judge, but his decisions are arguably among the most liberal in the court's history. Eisenhower later called the appointment within inverted comma the biggest damn fool mistake I ever made, within inverted comma, because the Constitution does not set forth any qualification for service as a justice. The President may nominate anyone to serve. However, that person must receive the confirmation of the Senate, meaning that a majority of the body must find that person to be a suitable candidate for a lifetime appointment on the nation's highest court. The judges of the Supreme Court are appointed for whole of their life. Though they retire at the age of 70, any judge can voluntarily retire, or a judge can be removed through impeachment. One judge, within bracket Samuel Chase, was impeached by the House of Representatives in 1803, but was acquitted by the Senate. The Supreme Court holds both original and appellate jurisdiction, with its appellate jurisdiction as accounting for most of the court's caseload. The court's original jurisdiction is narrowly focused, as defined in Article 3, Section 2 within bracket within inverted comma in all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers and consuls, and those in which a state shall be party, the Supreme Court shall have original jurisdiction. Inverted comma close, bracket close. The court's appellate jurisdiction encompasses within inverted comma all cases, inverted comma close, within the scope of Article 3, but is subject to in limitation by acts of Congress under the exceptions clause in Article 3 and by the discretion of the court. The power of judicial review grabbed by the Supreme Court in Marwadi versus Madison case stays with the court. Through this, the Supreme Court can declare any law, decree, treaty as invalid. This power has created judicial supremacy in the USA. The Supreme Court has become the Constitution. We are governed by the Constitution, and the Constitution is what the judges say it is. The United States has federal system. Its 5 federal features are thus stated. 1. Federalism provides a division of legal authority between state and national governments. Overlap occurs, but 2 legally distinct spheres of government exist. 2. The states are subordinate to the national government in such areas as management of foreign affairs and regulation of interstate commerce. 3. Federalism enables positive cooperation between state and national government in programs pertaining to education, interstate highway construction, environmental protection and health, unemployment and social security concerns. 4. The US Supreme Court serves as the legal arbiter of the federal system in regard to conflicting claims of state and national governments. 5. The 2 levels of government exercise direct authority simultaneously over people within their territory. Dual citizenship exists under federalism, and individuals can claim a wide range of rights and privileges from both state and national governments. Political scientists define 2 types of federalism, dual and cooperative. From one vantage point, federalism can be viewed as a within inverted comma layer, inverted comma close, cake within bracket dual. From another, it may be pictured as a within inverted comma rainbow or within inverted comma marble cake within bracket cooperative. The federalism has developed in the United States alternatively as 1. Truly federal until 18th century. 2. During the first 3 decades, it tilted towards the federal government. 3. During the next 4 decades, it was a dual federalism. 4. Then followed a period when the division of power remained unchanged. 5. During the years of depression and post-New Deal, the USA witnessed cooperative federalism. 6. Since the days of President Reagan, there is new federalism which is emerging within the inverted comma, the devolution revolution, inverted comma close. Political parties in the United States of America are not mentioned in the US Constitution. Parties are regulated by the laws of constitutions of the individual states, which organize elections to both local and federal offices. No laws limit the number of political parties that may operate, so it is theoretically a multi-party system, but practically a biparty system. In the Senate, Democratic Party and Republican Party each has 49 members, while 2 members are independent. In the House of Representatives, there are 233 Democratic Party members and 202 are Republican Party members, as in October 2007. The Democratic Party believes in American liberalism, American progressivism and social liberalism, while the Republican Party believes in conservatism, economic liberalism, neoconservatism and social conservatism. Some other political parties are Libertarian Party within bracket 1971, Green Party within bracket 1984 and Constitution Party within bracket 1992 bracket closed. Chapter 16 Typologies of Constitution. 3. Constitution of France, page 16.8. France is one of the most modern countries in the world and is one of the leading nations. Since 1958, it has built a presidential system with parliamentary features. Its reconciliation and cooperation with Germany has provided well for its economic development. France is a republic with a unitary system which has 26 regions within bracket 22 metropolitan and 4 overseas bracket closed. Following the adoption of the Constitution on September 28, 1958 through referendum, it has become effective on October 4, 1958. Numerous amendments have been since made in the Constitution. France has a president as the chief of state with some real powers, whereas the Prime Minister is the head of the government. There is the Council of Ministers appointed by the President on the suggestion of the Prime Minister. The President is elected by popular vote for a 5-year term. The Prime Minister is nominated by the National Assembly majority and then appointed by the President. The French Parliament consists of a Senate with 331 members indirectly elected by an electoral college for 6 years, one half retiring every 3 years. Between 2006 and 2010, 15 new members would be added to make the Senate a house with 346 members. The National Assembly has a total of 577 members within bracket 555 for metropolitan France, 15 for overseas regions and 7 for dependencies bracket close, elected by popular vote for a period of 5 years. The Supreme Court of Appeal has judges nominated by the High Council of Judiciary and then appointed by the President. The Constitutional Council has 9 members, 3 members appointed by the President, 3 by the President of the National Assembly and 3 by the President of the Senate. France has a multiple party system. The relative strength of the numerous political parties are in a chart in the horizontal line. The headings are UMP space, PS space, UDF space, PCF space, RDAC space, others. In the Senate, 331 strength, UMP 156, PS 97, UDF 33, PCF 23, RDAC 15 and others 7. National Assembly 577 strength, UMP 313, PS 186, UDF nil, PCF 15, RDAC nil and other 63. The government of France is a semi-presidential system in which the nation declares itself to be, within inverted comma, an indivisible, secular, democratic and social republic, inverted comma close. France is a unitary state, though the numerous regions under the nation have a substantial measure of autonomy. Chapter 16 Typologies of Constitutions. 3. Constitution of France, page 16.9. The 1958 Constitution has 92 articles and has been amended 18 times, mostly recently in February 2007. The last amendment abolishes death penalty. The amendment procedure as contained in Article 89 of the Constitution is fairly difficult and hence it is a rigid Constitution. The Constitution thus sets out methods of its own amendment either by referendum or through a parliamentary process with President Congress, with President consent. The nominal procedure of constitutional amendment is as follows. The amendment must be adopted in identical terms by both House of Parliament, then must be either adopted by a simple majority in a referendum or by 3/5 of a joint session of both Houses of Parliament within bracket the French Congress bracket close Article within bracket Article 89 bracket close. However, President Charles de Gaulle bypassed the legislative procedure in 1962 and directly sent a constitutional amendment to a referendum within bracket Article 2, which was adopted. This was highly controversial at the time. However, the Constitution Council ruled that since a referendum expressed the will of the sovereign people, the amendment was adopted. The Constitution does contain a Bill of Rights in itself, but the preamble mentions that France should follow the principles of the Declaration of the Rights of Man and the Citizen, as well as those of the preamble to the Constitution of the Fourth Republic. A recent modification of the Constitution adds a reference to an environment charter in the preamble. The Bill of Rights includes equality of all citizens, rejection of privileges, presumption of innocence, freedom of speech, freedom of opinion, including the freedom of religion, the guarantee of property against arbitrary seizure, the accountability of government agents to the citizens. Under the Constitution, the President was originally elected for a 7-year term. This has been reduced to 5 years within bracket Article 6. There is no term limit. The President appoints within bracket Article 8. The Prime Minister presides over the government within bracket Article 9 within bracket Cabinet of Ministers, commands the armed forces Article 15 and concludes treaties. The President may submit question to national referendum and can dissolve the National Assembly. All the powers are subject to countersigning within bracket Article 19 by the Prime Minister, except in a few cases such as the dissolution of the National Assembly. The powers of the President are: first, the President has a very limited form of suspensive veto. When presented with a law, he or she can request another reading of it by Parliament, but only once per law. Next, the President may also refer the law for review to the Constitution Council prior to promulgation. Next, the President may dissolve the French National Assembly. Next, the President may refer treaties or certain types of laws to popular referendum within certain conditions, among them the agreement of the Prime Minister or the Parliament. Next, the President is the Commander-in-Chief within bracket CINC of the armies. Next, the President may order the use of nuclear weapons. Next, the President names the Prime Minister, but he cannot dismiss him. He names and dismisses the other ministers with the agreement of the Prime Minister. The President names most officials within bracket with the assent of the Cabinet. Next, the President names certain members of the Constitutional Council. The President receives foreign ambassadors. The President may grant a pardon but not an amnesty within bracket to convicted criminals. The President can also lessen or suppress criminal sentences. This was of crucial importance when France still operated death penalty, now abolished. In certain emergencies, the President may assume special comprehensive powers. Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitution, page 16.10, 3, Constitution of France. However, in normal times, the President may pass neither legislation nor regulations, though, of course, if the Parliament is formed from his political side, he may strongly suggest the adoption of certain legislation or request his Prime Minister to take such or such regulation. The President is directly elected by citizens. Given France's runoff voting system, this means that the presidential candidate is required to obtain a nationwide majority of non-blank votes at either the first or second round of balloting, which presumably implies that the President is somewhat supported by at least half of the voting population. Thus, this gives him considerable legitimacy. Despite his somewhat restricted the de jure powers, the President thus enjoys considerable effective power. Summary of the 22nd April and 6th May 2007 French presidential election results. In the horizontal column, the chart in the chart and table, in the horizontal column, the headings are candidates dash parties. Next, with space, first round. With space, second round. Nicolas Sarkozy, under candidates parties. Nicolas Sarkozy, Union for a Popular Movement, within bracket Union for and Movement Popularized, bracket close. First round, votes against Nicolas Sarkozy, 1 crore 14 lakhs 48,663, percentage 31.18%. Second round, votes 1 crore 89 lakhs 83,133, percentage 53.06%. Under the head candidates parties, Ségolène Royal, Socialist Party, within bracket Parti Socialiste, first round votes 95 lakhs 112, percentage 25.87%. Second round votes 1 crore 90,440, percentage 46.94%. The government, that is cabinet, is headed by the Prime Minister. It is responsible to the Parliament. Within bracket Article 20, the National Assembly may pass a motion of censure forcing the resignation of the cabinet. This in practice forces the government to be from the same political stripe as the majority in the Assembly. Ministers have to answer questions from members of Parliament, both written and oral. This is known as the questions to the government. In addition, ministers attend meetings of the House of Parliament when laws pertaining to their areas of responsibility are being discussed. Government ministers cannot pass legislation without parliamentary approval, though the Prime Minister may issue autonomous regulations or subordinated regulations, provided they do not infringe on the Parliament domain as detailed in the Constitution. Ministers, however, can propose legislation to Parliament since the Assembly is from the same political stripe as the ministers. Such legislation is, in general, very likely to pass. The legislature in France consists of the Senate with 331 members indirectly elected within bracket Article 24 by an electoral college of about 1,45,000 local elected officials for 6-year term, one half retiring every 3 years. The National Assembly consists of 577 members directly elected for a period of 5 years. The National Assembly may force the resignation of the Executive Cabinet by voting a motion of censure. For this reason, the Prime Minister and the Cabinet are necessarily from the dominant part of or coalition in the Assembly. In the case of a President and Assembly from opposing parties, this leads to the situation known as cohabitation. While motions of censure are periodically proposed by the opposition, following government actions that it deems highly inappropriate, they are purely rhetorical. Party discipline ensures that throughout a parliamentary term, the government is never overthrown by the Assembly. The Senate's legislative powers are limited on most matters of legislation. The National Assembly has the last word in the event of a disagreement between the two houses, within bracket Article 45. The Constitutional Council consists of 9 members, each holding the office for a non-renewable term of 9 years. 3 members are appointed by the President and 3 each by the President's of the National Assembly and of the Senate respectively within bracket Article 56. The Constitutional Council ensures the proper conduct of the election of the President. Article 58 bracket closed decides on the disputed cases of the members of the National Assembly and the Senate. It also ensures the proper conduct of referendum. It also examines legislation and decides whether it conforms to the Constitution. The High Council of the Judiciary is presided over by the President of the Republic and the Ministers of Justice as its Vice President. The other judges of the High Council are appointed by the President. There is a provision for Economic and Social Council which may be consulted by the government on social and economic issues. The Ombudsman seeks to solve the disagreements between citizens and administration. Page 16.11. Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitution. 4. Constitution of Germany. The disintegration of the USSR and the end of Cold War made possible the unification of West Germany and East Germany in 1990. Since then, Germany has begun to play a larger and greater role in the world, especially in Europe. Germany is a federal republic with 16 states called Länder, including Bayern, Sachsen and Thuringen as free states. Following the unification, the 1949 Basic Law became the Constitution of Germany in 1990. The President of Germany is elected for a 5-year term by a federal convention, while the Chancellor is elected by an absolute majority of Bundestag for a 4-year term. The lower house within bracket called the Bundestag bracket closed has 614 members elected by popular vote under a system combining as direct and proportional representation. Its term is 4 years. The Federal Council within bracket called the Bundesrat bracket closed consists of 69 members representing the states within bracket. Each has 3 to 6 votes depending on population bracket closed. There is the Federal Constitutional Court within bracket for both are legal and constitutional body bracket closed, whose half judges are elected by the Federal Assembly and the other half by the Federal Council. Germany has a multiple party system. The German Constitution within bracket 1949 is written with 146 articles. A number of amendments within bracket 51 until July 2003 bracket closed has been made from time to time. The amendment procedure is rigid, which required to third vote in each house of the German legislature within bracket Article 79. Amendments affecting the divisions of third vote in each house of the German legislature within bracket Article 79. Amendments affecting the division of federation and states participation on the principle of states in legislation or the basic principles laid down in Article 1 and 20 are inadmissible. The basic rights have been granted in Chapter 1 of the Constitution, which include human dignity, liberty, equality, freedom of faith, of expression, of marriage and family, education, freedom of assembly or association or privacy of movement, choosing one's occupation, liability to military service, inviolability of home, property right, asylum petition. The abuse of these basic rights leads to the forfeiture of these rights. In rare cases, restrictions may be imposed on the basic rights, but only rarely. The Constitution provides for a parliamentary system where the President has constitutional and ceremonial functions and the Chancellor, as the head of the government, administers the nation along with his cabinet. The Chancellor and the cabinet are accountable to the Federal Assembly. The Constitution provides for a federal system where the federating partners are autonomous in their domain, and the Constitution is fairly rigid. In fact, Germany is a social federal state where all authority emanates from the people. Sovereignty lies with the people ultimately. Germany has a multiple party system where political parties are free to establish themselves and participate to the formation of the political will. The Constitutional Court can declare political parties unconstitutional if Germany participates, if the democratic basic order is impaired by them, within bracket Article 21 bracket close. Like some other countries of Europe, Germany participates in the development of the European Union. There is a provision for a constructive vote of no confidence within bracket Article 67. The Bundestag expresses its lack of confidence in the Chancellor only by electing a successor. Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitution. 4. Constitution of Germany, page 16.12. The President of Germany is the head of the state. He is a unifying presence. He takes care to steer clear day-to-day politics. It is indeed rare that he takes a stand, but when he takes, his opinion carries weight. The President is elected within bracket Article 54 by secret ballot, without debate, by the Federal Convention, a body established solely for that purpose. The convention consists of all Bundestag members as well as an equal number of delegates chosen by the legislatures of the Länder within bracket states. The delegates of each land to the Federal Convention are elected by the members of the legislature of that jurisdiction under a form of proportional representation. However, it is not required that land delegates themselves be members of a legislature. Often esteemed local citizens are chosen. In total, the Federal Convention numbers more than 1,000 people. The German Constitution of Basic Law requires that it is convened not later than 30 days before the expiration of the term of office of the President. In practice, it is convened every 5 years and is chaired by the President of the Bundestag. The Federal Convention attempts to elect a President by an absolute majority of votes cast. If after 2 votes no single candidate has received his level of support, in the third and final vote, the candidate endorsed by a popularity of votes cast is deemed elected. The President is elected for a period of 5 years and he can be re-elected but only once. While in office, the President enjoys immunity from prosecution and cannot be voted out of office or recalled. The only mechanism for removing the President is impeachment by the Bundestag or Bundesrat for willfully violating the German Basic Law. Once the Bundestag or Bundesrat by 2/3 majority impeaches the President, the Federal Constitutional Court is charged with the determining if he or she is guilty of the offence. If the charge is sustained, the court has authority to remove the President from office within Article 61. Till date, no President has ever been impeached. The degree of power actually conferred upon the President by the basic laws is ambiguous. However, in practice, holders of the office treat it as a ceremonial, non-political one and act in accordance with the advice and directives of the federal government. Unlike many constitutions, the basic law does not designate the head of state as the commander-in-chief of the military within bracket ceremonially or otherwise bracket closed. This role is vested in times of peace in the Minister of Defence going to the Chancellor rather than the President in times of war. By Article 65A, the President carries out the following duties as such. 1. Appointment of the federal government. The President proposes an individual as Chancellor and then, provided they are subsequently elected by the Bundestag, appoints him or her to the office. However, the Bundestag is free to disregard the President's proposal and elect an other individual to the post. who the President is then obliged to appoint, who the President is obliged to appoint. The President appoints and dismisses the remaining members of the federal government within bracket upon the proposal of the Chancellor, invert comma close. The President can dismiss the Chancellor, but only in the event that the Bundestag passes a constructive note of no confidence. If this occurs, the President must dismiss the Chancellor and appoint the successor requested by the Bundestag. 2. Other appointments. The President appoints federal judges, federal civil servants and military officers. All such appointments require the counter-signature of either the Chancellor or the relevant cabinet ministers. 3. Dissolution of the Bundestag. In the event that the Bundestag elects an individual for the office of Chancellor by a plurality of votes rather than a majority, the President can, at his discretion, either appoint that individual as Chancellor or dissolve the Bundestag. In the event that a vote of confidence is defeated in the Bundestag, the President may dissolve the body within 21 days, but only on a proposal from the incumbent Chancellor. So far, this power has only been applied 3 times in the history of the Federal Republic. In all 3 occurrences, it is doubtful whether the motives for that dissolution was in accordance with the Constitution's intentions. Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitutions. 4. Constitution of Germany, page 16.13. Each time the incumbent Chancellor called for the vote of confidence with the stated intention of being defeated in order to be able to call for new elections before the end of their regular term. The most recent occurrence was on July 1, 2005, when Chancellor Gerhard Schröder asked for a vote of confidence which was defeated. 4. Promulgation of the laws. All federal laws must, after counter-signature, be signed by the President before they come into effect. Ordinances must be signed by the Minister and then by the President. 5. Foreign relations. The President takes part in foreign visits and receives foreign dignitaries. He or she also concludes treaties with the foreign nations, accredits German diplomats and receives the letters accreditation of foreign diplomats. 6. Pardons and honors. The President grants pardons if the person concerned had been convicted under the federal jurisdiction, within bracket, which is rare, and confers decorations and honors. 7. State of emergency. In the event of a national crisis, the emergency law reforms of 1968 designate the President as a mediator. If the Bundestag is dissolved, the President may by request of the Cabinet declare a, within bracket, legislative state of emergency, invert comma close. Although the formal powers of the President are limited, the President's role can be quite significant depending on his or her own activities. The role of President is similar in some ways to that of a constitutional monarch found in other European states. The important differences being that the President is elected and his impartial status. The Federal Chancellor is incidentally the first female at present 2007 to hold office. Article 62 heads the Federal Cabinet and thus heads the executive branch of the federal government. He or she is elected within a bracket for a 4-year term bracket close is responsible to the Bundestag, Germany's parliament. Germany, like the United Kingdom, can thus be classified as a parliamentary system. So elected and then appointed by the President, within bracket Article 63, the Chancellor recommends for appointment of the ministers within bracket Article 64. It is the Chancellor who determines and is responsible for the general policy guidelines, while all other ministers conduct their affairs within these policy guidelines within bracket Article 65. The Chancellor and the ministers are responsible to the Bundestag, which can remove within bracket formally by the President bracket closed through a vote of no confidence only after electing the Chancellor's successor. The German legislature consists of two chambers, Bundestag and Bundesrat. Of the 1614, 16 seats are known as overhang seats. Among the 598 seats, half the seats within bracket 299 are directly elected through first past the post system, while the other half within bracket 299 are elected through the list system of the proportional representation. Accordingly, each voter has 2 votes in the elections to the Bundestag. The first vote within bracket first past the post system bracket closed, allowing votes to elect their local representatives to the Bundestag, decides which candidates are sent to parliament from these constituencies. The second vote within bracket party list proportional representation bracket closed is cast for a party list, and it is the second vote that determines the relative strength of the parties represented in the Bundestag. At least 598 members of the Bundestag are elected in this way. In addition to this, there are certain circumstances in which some candidates win what are known as overhang seat when the seats are being distributed. The 598 seats are distributed among the parties that have gained more than 5% of the second votes or at least 3 direct mandates. Each of these parties is allocated seats in the Bundestag in proportion to the number of votes it has received. Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitutions. 4. Constitution of Germany, page 16.14. The Bundestrat consists of 69 members, and it is the house that represents the states, larger states, sending more members than the smaller ones. Its organization is different. Its members are not elected neither by popular vote nor by the state legislature, but are normally members of the state cabinets. The legislative authority of the Bundesrat is subordinate to that of the Bundestag, but it nonetheless plays a vital legislative role. The federal government must present all its legislative initiatives first to the Bundesrat. Only thereafter can a proposal be passed to the Bundestag. Further, the Bundesrat must approve all legislation affecting policy areas for which the basic law grants the states concurrent powers and for which the states must administer federal regulations. The Bundesrat has increased its legislative responsibilities over time by successfully arguing for a broad rather than a narrow interpretation of what constitutes the range of legislation affecting states' interests. The Basic Law also provides the Bundesrat with an absolute veto of such legislation. Constitutional changes require a majority of 2/3 of all votes, thus giving the Bundesrat an absolute veto against the constitutional change. Against all other legislation, the Bundesrat has a suspensive veto which can be overridden by passing the law again. As an added provision, a law vetoed with a majority of 2/3 must be passed against with a majority of 2/3 in the Bundestag. If the absolute veto is used, the Bundesrat, the Bundestag, or the government can convene a joint committee to negotiate a compromise in which the Bundestag has its say owing to its larger strength. The Constitutional Court consists of the federal judges and other members. Half of them are elected by the Bundestag and the other by the Bundesrat, elected by a two-third majority in each house for a 12-year term, retiring at the age of 68 whatsoever is earlier. The court decides and on interpretation, compatibility of the federal law, rights and duties of the federation and the states, complaints of constitutionality within bracket Article 93. The federal government may establish a federal court for matters concerning industrial and property rights. Political parties are explicitly mentioned in the Constitution that is officially recognized as important participants in politics. Parties are obliged to adhere to the democratic foundations of the German state. Parties found in violation of this requirement may be abolished by the Constitutional Court. Page 16.15, Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitution. 4. Constitution of South Africa. The Constitution of South Africa provides for a sovereign democratic state founded on values such as human dignity, non-racialism, non-sexism, supremacy of the Constitution and the rule of law, with a multi-party system of democratic government, ensuring accountability, responsiveness and openness. The nation commits itself to a system of cooperative governance. South Africa is a republic with written constitution within bracket 400 repeat 243 articles and 12 amendments till 2003 bracket closed. The constitution provides for a rigid method of amendment. There are numerous methods of amendments. 1. Section and subsection of section 74 can be amended if the National Assembly passes a bill with 75% of majority and the National Council of Provinces with a majority of 6 out of 9 provinces. 2. Chapter 2 can be amended if the National Assembly passes a bill with two-thirds majority and with at least 6 votes of the provinces of the National Council of Provinces. 3. The rest of the Constitution can be amended if the National Assembly passes the bill with two-thirds majority and 6 provinces of the National Council of Provinces pass it, provided the amendment is related to Council. Alterations in the boundaries, powers or any provincial matters within bracket Article 74. There is a provision of the Bill of Rights in the Chapter 2 of the Constitution. These rights include detailed provisions concerning civil, political, social and economic rights. These rights are subject to limitations set out in Section 36, which stipulates that limits on rights must be reasonable and must have an important objective. Limits should also be, within inverted comma, less restrictive, inverted comma close. Security of the person and a, within inverted comma, right to freedom, inverted comma close, in Section 12 are defined broadly as including a right to trial, freedom from cruel and unusual punishment, psychological security, reproductive control and rights against forced scientific experiments. Freedom of religion in Section 15 also includes a right to government provided places of worship as long as those places are run in such a way that membership is equal. Freedom of expression in Section 16 extends to the right to research scientific questions, but is not meant to protect war propaganda or hate speech. Economic and social rights start with Section 22. The freedom of occupation, Section 24 provides a right to a healthy environment and Section 26 provides right to housing. Section 29 offers educational rights in all of the official languages depending on individual preference. South Africa is a constitutional democracy with a president who is executive head of the state with a 5-year term. He appoints the ministers, allocates work among them, and can dismiss them, though they are individually and collectively accountable to the Parliament. Though the Parliament, consisting of the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces, has the legislative authority, yet it has to work within the limits of the constitutions. Of the two houses, the National Assembly, though, is more powerful than the National Council of Provinces, but the latter is entrusted to safeguard the interests of the provinces and is expected to achieve cooperative governance. The Constitutional Court upholds the law and the Constitution, while the Supreme Court of Appeal has the final say in all matters other than those entrusted to the Constitutional Court. The state of strategy is declared during the times of war or threat of war and is effective only for a period of 21 days. The National Assembly, through a majority vote, can extend the period of emergency for 3 times for the first time. Any subsequent extension requires the support of 60% of the members of the National Assembly. The Constitution provides for a federal system, has a written, rigid and division of powers within bracket Articles 44, 104 and 156 respectively bracket closed into national, provincial and local units, and a constitutional court with equal representation of all the 9 provinces, each sending a delegation of 10 members but having only 1 vote. Cooperative governance is another feature of the Constitution of South Africa, where all spheres within bracket national, provincial and local bracket closed and organs within bracket legislature, executive and judiciary of government observe the principles of cooperative government and intergovernmental relations, distinctive, interdependent and interrelated. The President of South Africa is both the head of the state as well as the head of the government, who is to uphold, defend and respect the Constitution and promote the unity of the nation, Article 53. He is elected by the National Assembly from among its members within bracket Article 86 bracket close for a period of 5 years, not to hold office for more than 2 terms within bracket Article 88 bracket close. He may resign before the expiry of his time or may be removed on charges of the serious violation of the Constitution by resolution of the National Assembly with 2/3 majority within bracket Article 89 bracket closed. The President appoints the Vice President and other members of the Cabinet from among the members of the National Assembly within bracket Article 91 bracket closed. Though the Deputy President and the Ministers are responsible to the President, but the members of the Cabinet are collectively and individually accountable to the Parliament within bracket Article 92 bracket closed. The powers of the President under Article 84 are A. Assenting to and assigning bills, B. Referring the bill back to the National Assembly for reconsideration of the bill's constitutionality, may refer the bill to the Constitutional Court, C. Summoning the Parliament, D. Making appointment, C. Appointing commissions of inquiry, F. Calling a national referendum, G. Receiving diplomats, H. Power of pardon, and I. Conferring honors. Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitutions, page 16.16. 5. Constitution of South Africa continued. A vote of no confidence in a minister by a 2/3 majority of the National Assembly means the constitutions of the Cabinet by the President, and a vote of no confidence in a president by a 2/3 majority of the National Assembly means the resignation of the President and his Cabinet within bracket Article 102, that is 102. The South Africa's Parliament consists of National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces. The National Assembly consists of no fewer than 350 and no more than 400 members elected for a period of 5 years within bracket Article 49 bracket closed. It can be dissolved by the President if the National Assembly passes a resolution with a majority of its members, and 3 years have passed since its election. The National Assembly seats are allocated using a proportional representation system with closed lists. Voters have one vote at elections to the National Assembly. One half of the members are allocated via regional party list in multi-member constituencies. The other half are allocated in a national party list in one national multi-member constituency. Political parties decide whether they want to set up a national and regional lists or regional lists only. The election to the National Council of Provinces within bracket NCOP is bracket close is indirect. Citizens vote for provincial legislatures, and each of these legislatures then nominate a delegation of 10 members to the NCOP. The delegation, which includes the Premier, must reflect the proportion of each political party in the provincial legislature. Each of the South Africa's 9 provinces has equal representation in the cabinet, in the council, irrespective of size of population. In case of a deadlock between the two houses, there is a provision of mediation committee consisting of 9 members each. The National Assembly, however, is more powerful than the National Council of Provinces. The Constitutional Court consists of a president and a deputy president and 9 other judges appointed by the president. The president is appointed after consulting the Judicial Service Commission and the leaders of the parties in the National Assembly, and other judges are appointed by the president after consulting the president of the Constitutional Court and the leaders of the parties represented in the National Assembly. The judges serve a non-renewable term of 12 years and retire at the age of 70, whichsoever is earlier. The Constitutional Court is the highest court in all constitutional matters. It decides the constitutionality of any constitutional matter, any bill. It also decides the disputes between the national and provincial matters or between the organs of the governments within bracket Article 167 bracket closed. The Supreme Court of Appeal consists of a chief judge and deputy chief judge and a number of judges appointed in the manner the judges of the constitutional courts are appointed. It hears all matters which are not constitutional and also hear appeals within bracket Article 168 bracket closed. There is a provision for Judicial Service Commission within bracket Article 168 bracket closed. There is a provision of Judicial Service Commission within bracket Article 178 bracket closed, which advises the national government on matter relating to judiciary. South Africa is one dominant party system with African National Congress in power. The other political parties are the African Christian Democratic Party, Democratic Alliance and Independent Democrats. Page 16.17. Chapter 16. Typologies of Constitutions. 6. Constitution of People's Republic of China. Following the Chinese Socialist Revolution in 1949, Mao Zedong established the socialist system in the mainland China. After Mao's death, Deng Xiaoping and other leaders focused on market-oriented economic development, and by 2000, output had increased 4 times. Though living standards of the most population has improved, the tight political control remains. The 1954 Constitution was followed by the 1975, 1978, 1982 constitutions. The 1982 constitutions has been stable till date. The role of the presidency and the courts were normalized, and under the constitution, all citizens are equal. Amendments were made in 1988, 1993, 1999, and most recently in 2004, which recognized private property, safeguarded human rights, and further promoted the non-public sector of the economy. The People's China is a communist state with enormous changes affecting the system. It is a unitary state with 23 provinces, 5 autonomous regions, and 4 municipalities. One chamber People's National Congress consists of 2,985 members for a 5-year term. The Communist Party of China is the major political party and controls 8 registered small political parties. The Constitution of the People's China has 138 articles. It is thus a written constitution with first amendment in 1988, the second in 1993, third in 1999 and fourth in 2004. The Constitution specifies a rigid method. Article 64 says that on the proposal of the Standing Committee or by more than 1/5 of the deputies of National People's Congress, the latter, after adopting by a majority vote of more than 2/3, amend any article of the Constitution. The single party system virtually rules the nation. The Communist Party of China is the party that controls and directs all the other political parties. Democratic centralism is less of democracy and more of centralism. Communist Party ruling at all the levels, though the fundamental rights are given in the Constitution, their actuality has always been a matter of doubt. The institution of Standing Committee makes it a mini legislature, a mini executive and a mini judiciary. The role of military in all aspects of life has reduced the significance of all the state institutions. The 1982 Constitution grants a number of fundamental rights to the citizen. These include right to equality, freedom of religion, personal freedoms, privacy of home and correspondence, right to work, leisure, social security, education and the like. The citizens have to perform certain fundamental duties. These include obedience to the Constitution, payment of taxes, military service, defense of the country, within bracket Articles 33 to 56, bracket closed. The National People's Congress, within bracket NPC, is the highest organ of the state power. Its permanent body is its Standing Committee, within bracket Article 57, bracket closed. The NPC with the Standing Committee exercises the legislative powers, within bracket Article 58, bracket closed. When the NPC is not in session, it is the Standing Committee which performs legislative functions, that is, issues decrees, and when the NPC meets, it only approves them. The NPC has the power such as elects the President, the Vice President, and can recall and remove Premier, Vice Premiers, State Councillors, the Chairman of the Central Military Commissions, the President of the Supreme People's Court, and the Supreme People's Procurators, amends the Constitution, within bracket Article 63 and 64, bracket closed. The Standing Committee has its Chairman, Vice Chairman, the Secretary General and other members. Its members are elected by NPC and it has the power to recall its members. The Standing Committee has a tenure of 5 years. Its Chairman and Vice Chairman are not allowed to serve more than 2 consecutive terms. The powers and functions of the Standing Committee under the Article 67 are to interpret and supervise the Constitution and its enforcement, to enact and amend statutes, to issue decrees, to interpret statutes, to supervise the work of the State Council, the Central Ministry Commission, Central Ministry Commission, Supreme People's Court, to appoint and remove ministers during the period when the NPC is not in session, to decide on the appointments and recall the diplomats, to decide on the ratification and abrogation of treaties, to decide on titles and honors, to decide on general or partial mobilization. The Chairman of the Standing Committee presides over its meetings. The President and the Vice President of People's Republic of China are elected by NPC, serve for a 5-year period, not to serve more than 2 consecutive terms. The President under Article 80 enacts statutes, appoints and removes Premier, State Ministers, confers titles, issues orders of special pardons, proclaims a state of war. The State Council, consisting of the Premier, Vice Premier and other ministers, is the highest executive body whose powers under Article 89 includes to adopt administrative measures, to submit proposals to NPC, to lay down at the tasks and responsibilities of the ministers, to draw up budget, to conduct foreign relations, to direct civil and administrative affairs, to decide on the enforcement of law. The Supreme People's Court is the highest judicial body, consisting of about 200 judges, meets in smaller tribunals to decide cases, elected by NPC for a 5-year term, administers justice within bracket Article 127 close bracket close, while the Supreme People's Procurator exercises procuratorial functions within bracket Article 131. Page 16.19, Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitutions. Exercises. Exercise 1. Which of the following makes the English constitutions unique? A. A large number of rules based solely on conventions. B. The fact that no act has a higher degree of authority than a simple act of parliament. C. Responsiveness of the government to public opinion. D. Constitutional monarchy. The correct answer is A. A large number of rules based solely on conventions. Exercise 2. Consider the following statements about the Constitution of UK. 1. UK has a unitary constitution. 2. Parliament is sovereign in UK. 3. UK has a system of judicial review. Which of the statements given above are correct? A. 1, 2 and 3, B. 2 and 3, C. 1 and 2 and D. 1 only. The correct answer is 1 and 2. That is 1. UK has a unitary constitution. 2. Parliament is sovereign in UK. Exercise 3. Which British Prime Minister proposed the abolition of judicial powers of the House of Lords? A. Margaret Thatcher. B. John Major. C. Tony Blair and D. Harold Wilson. The correct answer is C. That is Tony Blair. Exercise 4. Which of the following phrases best illustrates the present position and authority of the Prime Minister in the British political system? A. Within inverted comma, moon among minor stars. B. Primus inter pares, inverted comma close, within bracket the first among the equals. C. Within inverted comma, central to the formation, central to the life and central to the death of the government, inverted comma close. D. He enjoys power during the pleasure of the sovereign. The correct answer is A. That is within inverted comma, moon among minor stars, inverted comma close. Exercise 5. Which of the following statements are true of the British Parliament system? Parliament system. 1. The Queen always acts on the advice of the Cabinet. 2. The Parliament can make laws of any subject. 3. The Cabinet functions on the principle of collectible responsibility. 4. The House of Lords can veto legislation passed by the House of Commons. A. 1, 2, 3 and 4. B. 2 and 4 and C. 1 and 3 and D. 1, 2 and 3. 1. The Queen always acts on the advice of the Cabinet. 2. The Parliament can make laws on any subject. 3. The Cabinet functions on the principle of collectible responsibility. Exercise 6. In England, the doctrine of parliamentary sovereignty actually means that A. Parliament can make any law it likes. B. No political norms are binding on people except the laws promulgated by Parliament. C. Laws passed by Parliament cannot be challenged in a court of law. D. Parliament is both legally and politically supreme. The correct answer is C. That is, laws passed by Parliament cannot be challenged in a court of law. Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitution. Exercises. Page 16.19, continue. Exercise 7. Within bracket, within inverted comma, parliamentary supremacy, inverted comma close, is a doctrine. It is a definite feature of the political system in A. UK, B. India, C. Canada, D. Australia. The correct answer is A. UK. Exercise 8. Which of the following are the characteristics of parliamentary opposition in Britain according to S.E. Feiner? 1. It is unrecognized. 2. It is permanent. 3. It is representative. 4. It is a participant. A. 1 and 4, B. 1 and 2, C. 1, 2 and 3, D. 2, 3 and 4. 2. It is permanent. 3. It is representative. And 4. It is a participant. Exercise 9. Consider the following statements in respect of the British Civil Services. 1. North Court. Trevelyan report recommended for merit system of recruitment and opposed the generalist cadre of British top civil posts. 2. Fulton Committee stressed the need for generalist service and was not in favor of induction of specialists into British civil service. Which of the statements given above is are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both A and 1 and 2, and C. neither 1 or 2. That is, correct answer is D. Neither 1 or 2. Exercise 10. Wales was united with England by the Act of Union is 10A 1536, B 1284, C 1707, and D 1801. The correct answer is 1536. A part of Wales was conquered in 1283. It became a part of England through the Act of Union in 1536. Exercise 11. Which is the current name of what is known as UK? A. United Kingdom, B. United Kingdom of England and Wales, C. United Kingdom of Great Britain, D. United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. The correct answer is D. That is United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. It is United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Achha. Exercise 12. The House of Lords does not have the following types of peers: A. Hereditary, B. Elective, C. Life, and D. Clergy. The correct answer is B. That is elective. Exercise 13. Arrange the following chronologically: 1. Parliamentary Acts, 2. Petition of Right, C. Magna Carta, and 4. Bill of Rights. A. 3241, B. 4123, C. 1234, D. 4321. The correct answer is A. That is 3241. 3. Magna Carta, 2. Petition of Right, 4. Bill of Rights, 1. Parliamentary Acts. Exercise 14. The characteristic feature of the British Constitution are: A. Unitary, presidential, flexible, B. Unitary, parliamentary, flexible, C. Flexible, parliamentary, federal, D. Parliamentary, federal, rigid. The correct answer is B. Unitary, parliamentary, flexible. Exercise 15. Britain is a land of: A. Elections, B. Conventions, C. Statutes, and D. Kangaroos. The correct answer is B. That is unitary, parliamentary, flexible. Exercise. No. Wrong. I repeat from question 14. 14. The characteristic features of the British Constitution are: A. Unitary, presidential, flexible, B. Unitary, parliamentary, flexible, C. Flexible, parliamentary, federal, and D. Parliamentary, federal, rigid. The correct answer is B. That is unitary, parliamentary, flexible. Exercise 15. Britain is a land of: A. Elections, B. Conventions, C. Statutes, and D. Kangaroos. The correct answer is B. That is conventions. Exercise 16. Which of the following is not a convention? A. Once a speaker is always a speaker. B. The British monarch gives assent to the bills. C. Money bill originates in the House of Commons. D. Parliament means House of Commons and House of Lords. The correct answer is 16D. That is, Parliament means House of Commons and House of Lords. Parliament by convention means only the House of Commons. Exercise 17. Decay's rule of law implies the following: 1. No person can be punished except for breach of law. 2. All are equal before law. 3. There is a separate law which governs the public servants. 4. The Constitution is the outcome of the rights of the people. A. 1, 2, 3, B. 1, 2, 4, C. 1, 3, 4, and D. 2, 3, 4. The correct answer is B. That is 1, 2, 4. 1. No person can be punished except for breach of law. 2. All are equal before law. 4. The Constitution is the outcome of the rights of the people. Exercise 18. The term crown in Britain means: A. What the king or the queen have it on ceremonial occasion. B. The monarch or the queen as a person. C. The government itself. D. People of Great Britain. The correct answer is C, the government itself. Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitutions, exercises, page 16.20, page 16.20. Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitutions, exercises, exercise 19. Within bracket, king, the king is dead, long live the king, implies A, the king as a person has died, B, the monarchy as an institution survives, C, the king as a person has died, but the monarchy as an institution will survive for good, D, the monarchy has been abolished though the king as a constitutional head survives. The correct answer is C, the king as a person has died, but the monarchy as an institution will survive for good. Exercise 20. According to Weggett, which of the following is not the function of the king? A, right to be consulted, B, right to warn, C, right to encourage, D, right to head the department. Repeat. D, right to head the government. The correct answer is D, that is right to head the government. Exercise 21. The actual position of the British king in the British political system is A, he resigns and rules, B, he resigns but does not rule, C, he rules but does not resign, D, neither does he rule nor does he resign. The correct answer is B, he resigns but does not rule. Exercise 22. Which House of Parliament can censure the government? A, the House of Lords, B, the House of Commons, C, both the houses, D, neither of the two houses. The correct answer is B, the House of Commons. Exercise 23. Which of the following is not the features of the British cabinet? A, political homogeneity, B, leadership of the Prime Minister, C, responsibility to the Parliament, and D, open cabinet meetings. The correct answer is D, that is open cabinet meetings. Cabinet meetings are held in private and its proceedings are always kept secret. Exercise 24. Who is known as the Prime Minister of England? A, Disraeli, B, Palmerston, C, Walpole. I repeat, wrong. I repeat 24. Who is known as the first Prime Minister of England? A, Disraeli, B, Palmerston, C, Walpole, D, Pitt the Younger. The correct answer is C, that is Walpole. Exercise 25. Which one of the following statements correctly explains the beating of checks and balance within inverted comma in the presidential system of the USA? A, checking the growing powers of the federal government and balancing it against the powers of states. B, checking the growing authority of the state and balancing it against the rights and liberties of the people. C, the functions of the legislature, executive and judiciary acting as checks on one another, creating a constitutional balance for the smooth functioning of the government. D, the power of the Supreme Court in respect of judicial review being kept in check in such a manner as to balance the federal judicial powers against the judicial powers of the state. The correct answer is C, the functions of the legislature, executive and judiciary acting as checks on one another, creating a constitutional balance for the smooth functioning of the government. Exercise 26. Which of the following is not a common feature of federalism in USA and India? A, distribution of powers between the union and the states. B, the existence of the Supreme Court. C, two sets of judicial organizations. D, written constitution. The correct answer is C, two sets of judicial organizations. Exercise 27. Which of the following factors have helped the US federal government to become powerful vis-a-vis the state government? 1. The role and personalities of wrong. I repeat, exercise 26. Which of the following is not a common feature of federalism in USA and India? A, distribution of powers between the union and the states. B, the existence of the Supreme Court. C, two sets of judicial organizations. And D, written constitution. The correct answer is C, two sets of judicial organizations. Exercise 27. Which of the following factors have helped the US federal government to become powerful vis-a-vis the state government? 1. The role and personalities of some American presidents. 2. Doctrine of within inverted comma implied powers given by the US Supreme Court. 3. Grants in aid given by the US federal government to the states. 4. Emergency situations, namely world wars and the Great Depression. A 1 only 1, B 1 and 2, C 1, 2 and 3, and D 1, 2, 3 and 4. The correct answer is 1. The role and personalities of some American presidents. 2. Doctrine of within implied powers given by the US Supreme Court. 3. Grants in aid given by the US federal government to the state. And 4. Emergency situations, namely world wars and the Great Depression. Exercise 28. Which of the following statements is not correct in the American federal system? A. The powers of states are undefined, but they are not unlimited. B. All states possess equal rights and equal representation in the Senate. C. The federal government can change the name and territory of any constituent state. And D. The residue powers are vested in the states. The correct answer is C. The federal government can change the name and territory of any constituent state. Exercise 29. Given below are two statements, one labeled as assertion A and the other labeled as reason R. Assertion A. The Senate of USA is said to be the most powerful second chamber in the world. Reason R. There are many things that President and Senate can do together without the approval of the House of Representatives, and there are also many things that House of Representatives and Senate can do together without the approval of the President. But there are comparatively fewer things which President and House of Representatives can do together without the approval of the Senate. In the context of the above two statements, which of the following is correct? A. Both A and R are true, but R is the correct expression of A. B. Both A and R are true, but R is not the correct expression of A. C. A is true, but R is false. D. A is false, but R is true. The correct answer is B. Both A and R are true, but R is not the correct expression of A. Exercise chapter 16, Typologies of Constitutions. Exercises, page 16.21, exercise number 30. In the USA, residuary power or reserve powers are A. Left to the federal government, B. Left to the state, C. Not defined properly, D. Given to local government. The correct answer is B, that is left to the state. Exercise 31. Which of the following are common features as associated with federalism of India and USA? 1. Mention of the concurrent list in the Constitution. 2. Written constitutions. 3. Division of powers between the center and the state. 4. Residuary powers lie with states. A. 1, 2, 3. B. 1, 2, 4. C. 2 and 3. D. 1 and 3. The correct answer is 2 and 3. That is 2 written constitutions, 3 division of powers between the center and the state. Exercise 32. Consider the following statements. 1. The American Congress is a sovereign legislature in the sense the British Parliament is. 2. Bicameralism found new foundation when the framers of the American Constitution designed it in the Philadelphia Convention in 1787. Which of the statements given above is oblique R are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. Both A and 2, D. Neither 1 and 2. The correct answer is B, that is 2 only. Bicameralism found new foundation when the framers of the American Constitution designed it in the Philadelphia Convention in 1787. Exercise 33. In the American presidential election, in case no candidate secures record majority, the decision is referred to the A. Electorate, B. Electoral College, C. House of Representatives, and D. Senate. The correct answer is C, that is House of Representatives. Exercise 34. Which of the following is correct with regard to the impeachment of the President of the USA? A. President can be impeached only through a referendum. B. President can be impeached only by the Senate. C. Impeachment process is initiated in the House of Representatives and the Senate acts as trial chamber. D. Proposal for impeachment is initiated in the Senate and the House of Representatives acts as a trial chamber. The correct answer is C, that is impeachment process is initiated in the House of Representatives and the Senate acts as trial chamber. Exercise 35. To which of the following cases did Marshall, the Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court, recognize the powers of judicial review. A. McCulloch versus Maryland. B. Marbury versus Madison. C. Gibbon versus Ogdew. D. Scott versus Stanford. The correct answer is B, that is Marbury versus Madison. In page 16.22 of chapter, I repeat from exercise 37 to exercise 61. Now, I repeat from exercise 36 to exercise 61. Exercise 36, chapter 16, typologies of constitutions. Exercise 36, within inverted comma, we are under a constitution, but the constitution is what the judges say it is, within inverted comma. This is said about the judiciary of A. India, B. UK, C. USA and D. Switzerland. The correct answer is C. USA. Exercise 37, the practice adopted by the party in power to reward its members and supporters through government contracts and jobs is called A. Division of powers, B. Implied powers, C. Power politics and D. Spoils system. The correct answer is D, that is spoils systems. Exercise 38, which of the following is not a part of the American constitutional practice? A. Pocket veto, B. Collective responsibility, C. Senatorial courtesy and B. Filibustering. The correct answer is B, that is collective responsibility. Exercise 39. In the USA, the filibustering is a method used by A. the Congress to pressurize the President, B. the President to prevent the introduction of a bill in the Congress, C. members of the Senate to obstruct the passage of a bill and D. judiciary to prevent Congress from passing a bill. The correct answer is C, that is members of the Senate to obstruct the passage of a bill. Exercise 40. Which of the following combination characterizes the features of the US Constitution? A. Republic, Federal, Democratic. B. Democratic, Unitary, Republic. C. Federal, Monarchical, Democratic. D. Monarchical, Unitary, Unwritten. The correct answer is A, that is Republic, Federal and Democratic. Exercise 41. Which of the following constitution is the most brief constitution of the world? A. Mexico, B. Germany, C. USA and D. China. The correct answer is C. USA. The US Constitution has only 7 articles. Exercise 42. The US have 60 states. Wrong. Repeat. Exercise 42. Exercise 42. The US has 50 states and 1 district. Which of the following is the district? A. Virginia, B. Washington, C. New York, D. Columbia. The correct answer is D, that is Columbia. Exercise 43. As of now, how many amendments in the US Constitution have been made? A. 26 only, B. 27 only, C. 28 only, D. 29 only. The correct answer is B, that is 27 only. Exercise 44. Which of the following is common with the Senate and the House of Representatives? A. Senate is indirectly elected house, B. It is directly elected house, C. It has no co-equal powers with the House of Representatives and D. The tenure of its members is same as of House of Representatives. The correct answer is B. It is directly elected house. Exercise 45. The Senate is a permanent house, but its members A. are elected for a period of 6 years, 1/2 retiring every 3 years. B. are elected for a period of 4 years, 1/2 retiring every 2 years. C. are elected for a period of 9 years, 1/3 retiring every 3 years. D. are elected for 6 years, 1/3 retiring every 2 years. The correct answer is D, that is are elected for 6 years, 1/3 retiring every 2 years. Exercise 46. The US Supreme Court has been described as the third chamber of the American Congress. Who describes it? A. Monroe, B. Lasky, C. Bryce and D. Strong. The correct answer is B, that is Lasky. Exercise 47. The contribution of the theory of separation of power and the theory of checks and balances aims at the following. A. Unity only, B. Equilibrium, C. Unity and equilibrium, D. More unity and less equilibrium. The correct answer is B, that is equilibrium. The two devices seek to bring about balance. Exercise 48. If the electoral college is unable to elect the Vice President of the USA, who elects the Vice President? A. The Supreme Court of the USA, B. the House of Representatives, C. the two houses of the Congress, and D. Senate. The correct answer is D, that is Senate. Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitutions, exercises, page 16.23, exercise 49. The US President, A. rules but does not reign, B. reigns but does not rule, C. rules and reigns, D. neither does he rule nor does he reign. The correct answer is A, that is rules and does not reign. Exercise 50. In the American Federation, which of the following is supreme? A. the federal government, B. the state governments, C. the constitution, D. the Congress. The correct answer is C, the constitution. Exercise 51. Which of the following takes initiative in the amendments of the constitution in USA? A. the federal legislature, B. the state legislature, C. both the federal legislature and the states through a convention, D. the US President. The correct answer is C, both the federal legislature and the states through a convention. Exercise 52. Which of the following has the powers to create the new states? A. the US President, B. the US Congress, C. the state legislatures, D. the US Supreme Court. The correct answer is B, that is the US Congress. Exercise 53. Within inverted comma, the US President is both more or less than a king. He is more or less than a prime minister. In inverted comma close, who said so? A. Lusky, B. Feiner, C. Monroe, and D. Bryce. The correct answer is A, that is Lusky. Exercise 54. When the Senate sits as a court to impeach the President, who presides over the Senate? A. the Vice President, B. the Speaker of the House of Representatives, C. the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, D. the living former US President. The correct answer is C, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Exercise 55. Which of the following presidents was unsuccessfully impeached? A. Clinton, B. Bush, C. Nixon, and D. Kennedy. The correct answer is A. Clinton. Exercise 56. Which of the following treaty was not approved by the Senate? A. NPT, B. PTBT, C. CTBT, and D. SALT. The correct answer is C, that is CTBT. Exercise 57. Pocket veto means A. the US President may pocket a veto and forget about it. B. he may send the bill to the Senate for its reconsiderations. C. he may send the bill back to the House of Representatives. D. he may assure the nation that he would sign it within 10 days. The correct answer is A. The US President may pocket a veto and forget about it. Exercise 58. Exercise 58. The US Senate does not have which of the following powers? A. the budget can be presented in the Senate before it originates in the House of Representatives. B. the Senate can change any item stated in the budget. C. it can ask for a conference committee. D. it can refuse approval to the appointments made by the President. The correct answer is A, that is, the budget can be presented in the Senate before it originates in the House of Representatives. Exercise 59. There is a judicial supremacy in which of the following states? A. USA, B. Great Britain, C. India, and D. South Africa. The correct answer is A, that is USA. In USA, the Supreme Court has what is called within inverted comma judicial review power, through which it has become relatively supreme, inverted comma close. Exercise 60. The German Chancellor is elected A. directly by the people, B. by the Bundesrat within bracket upper house, C. by the Bundestag within bracket House of Representatives, D. by both the houses, that is within bracket Bundesrat and Bundestag. The correct answer is C, by the Bundestag within bracket House of Representatives. Exercise 61. The idea that before passing a no confidence motion against the government, the Parliament must explore the possibility of forming an alternative government is a part of A. Constitution of France, B. Constitution of USA, C. Constitution of the Republic of Ireland, and D. Constitution of Germany. The correct answer is Constitution of Germany. Page 16.24. Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitutions, exercises, Exercise 62. Consider the following exercises. Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitution. Exercises. Exercise number 62. Exercise 62. Consider the following statements in respect of the Constitution of Germany. The number of seats in the Bundestag varies, and the members of the Bundestag are elected for a term of 5 years. 2. The federal president is elected for a 5-year term by the Bundestag. Which of the following statements given is oblique R are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both A and 2, D. neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is B, that is 2 only. The federal president is elected for a 5-year term by the Bundestag. Exercise 63. The constructive no confidence vote in the basic law of Germany means that the Bundestag can overthrow a chancellor. A. Only by special majority vote. B. Only if it is first able to agree on a successor. C. Only with the consent of the president. D. Only with the consent of the Federal Constitutional Court. The correct answer is B, that is only it is first able to agree on a successor. Exercise 64. The basic rights in Germany can be forfeited in case of which of the following? A. When the free democratic basic order is in danger. B. When the national emergency is in vogue. C. When there is a failure of the constitutional machinery. D. None of the above. The correct answer is A. When the free democratic basic order is in danger. Exercise 65. Which of the following determines the extent of the forfeiture of the basic rights? A. The Chancellor. B. The Federal Constitutional Court. B. C. The Bundestag. D. Bundesrat. The correct answer is B, that is the Federal Constitutional Court. Exercise 66. The ultimate remedy open to protect the constitutional order in Germany lies with A. The Constitutional Court. B. The Government of Germany. C. The German people. D. The Federal Parliament. The correct answer is C, that is the German people. Exercise 67. Which of the following has a 4-year term? A. National People's Congress China. B. Bundestag Germany. C. House of Representatives USA. D. National Assembly within brackets South Africa. The correct answer is B, that is Bundestag Germany. Exercise 68. The German president is elected by A. Both houses of the German parliament. B. Electoral college consisting of the elected members of the German parliament and those of state legislatures. C. Electoral college consisting of the members of Bundestag and unequal members elected by the parliament of the states. And D. Elected directly by the people. The correct answer is C. Electoral college consisting of the members of Bundestag and unequal members elected by the parliament of the states. Exercise 69. Which of the following has the right to decide on the impeachment of the German president? A. The Bundestag. B. The Bundesrat. C. Either Bundestag or Bundesrat. D. The Federal Constitutional Court. The correct answer is C. Either Bundestag or Bundesrat. 70. Exercise 70. A decision to impeach the president in Germany requires A. A majority of 2/3 of the members of Bundestag or of Bundesrat. B. A majority of 2/3 of both the houses. C. A majority of 2/3 of both the houses and the majority of the state. D. A majority of 2/3 of two houses and of the states. The correct answer is A. A majority of 2/3 of the members of Bundestag and Bundesrat and of Bundesrat. Exercise 71. Who elects the Chancellor as proposed by the President and then appointed by him? A. Bundestag. B. Bundesrat. C. Both the houses. D. People of Germany. The correct answer is A, that is Bundestag. Exercise 72. The government bills first originate in which of the following to state its position? A. Bundestag. B. Bundesrat. C. Any house. D. The President's office. The correct answer is B, that is Bundestag. That is Bundesrat. Exercise 73. The amendment of any article in the German Constitution requires A. 2/3 majority of the members of Bundestag. B. 2/3 majority of the members of Bundesrat. C. 2A and B both. D. Two-thirds majority of the members of the two houses present and voting. The correct answer is C. That is A and B both. A and B both. That is A. Two-thirds majority of the members of Bundestag and B. Two-thirds majority of the members of Bundesrat. Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitutions, exercises, page 16.25, exercise number 74. The Federal Constitutional Court consists of members A. Half elected by the Bundestag and half appointed by the President. B. Half elected by the Bundesrat and half appointed by the President. C. Half elected by the Bundestag and half elected and half by the Bundesrat. D. Half appointed by the President and half by the half of the Chancellor. The correct answer is C. Half elected by the Bundestag and half elected by the Bundesrat. Exercise 75. Which of the following statements with regard to the extent of amendment in Germany are correct? 1. Division of the federation into states inadmissible. 2. Participation of the states in legislation is inadmissible. 3. Articles relating to the President is inadmissible. 4. Articles 1 and 20 relating to basic principles are inadmissible. The correct answers are A. 1, 2, 3, B. 1, 2, 4, C. 2, 3, 4, D. 1, 3, 4. The correct answer is B. That is 1, 2, 4. 1. Division of the federation into states inadmissible. 2. Participation of the states in legislation is inadmissible. 4. Articles 1 and 20 relating to basic principles are inadmissible. Exercise 76. Which of the following is are the features of the German constitutions? 1. Federal Republic Democratic. 2. Federal Presidential Socialist. 3. Socialist Parliamentary Unitary. A. 1 and 2, B. 2 and 3, C. 1, 2 and 3, D. 1 only. That is Federal Republic Democratic. Exercise 77. The President dissolves the Bundestag. A. On the proposal of the Chancellor. B. On the proposal of the Chancellor, against when the no confidence vote fails. C. On the proposal of the whole ministry. D. None of the above. The correct answer is B. That is on the proposal of the Chancellor, against when the no confidence vote fails. The exercise 78. The budget is introduced first as A. in the Bundestag, B. in the Bundesrat, C. simultaneously in both the houses, D. none of the above. The correct answer is B. That is in the Bundesrat. Exercise 79. Which of the following with regard to the Federal Constitutional Court are correct? 1. It interprets the Constitution. 2. It decides on the constitutionality of any law on complaints. 3. It hears cases with regard to disputes on public laws between the Federation and the states. A. 1 and 2, B. 1, 2 and 3, C. 2 and 3, D. 1 and 3. The correct answer is 1 and 2. 1. It interprets the Constitution. 2. It decides on the constitutionality of any law on complaints. Exercise 80. Which of the following events led to the establishment of the Fifth Republic in France? A. Algerian crisis, B. Suez crisis, C. Cuban crisis, and D. Macau crisis. The correct answer is A. That is Algerian crisis. Exercise 81. Which of the following is not a feature of the French Constitution of 1958? A. Adoption of Declaration of Rights of 1789. B. Favoring strong presidency. C. Limited powers of Parliament, and D. Unicameral legislature. The correct answer is D. That is unicameral legislatures. Exercise 682. Which constitution is called a tailor-made within inverted comma constitution? A. Constitution of Fourth Republic of France. B. Constitution of Fifth Republic of France. C. Constitution of United Germany, and D. Constitution of USA. The correct answer is B. That is Constitution of Fifth Republic of France. Exercise 83. Which of the following statement is correct? A. According to the Constitution of France, the cabinet consists of the President, the Prime Minister, and other ministers. B. The President of France determines the policies of the nation and its responsibility to the Parliament, and is responsible to the Parliament. C. The President of France presides over meetings of the General Council of Ministers, but the Prime Minister is responsible for the policies of the Union, of the nations. Acha, I repeat, C. The President of France presides over meetings of the Council of Ministers, but the Prime Minister is responsible for the policies of the nation. D. The Prime Minister of France is neither expected to determine the composition of the cabinet nor he presides over its meetings. The correct answer is C. That is, the President of France presides over meetings of the Council of Ministers, but the Prime Minister is responsible for the policies of the nation. Page 16.26, Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitutions, Exercises, Exercise number 84. The relationship between the government and the President in France is a complex one due to A. Direct election of the President, B. Centralization of powers, C. A mixed presidential parliamentary form of government, D. Parliament's reduced power to control the government. The correct answer is C. A mixed presidential parliamentary form of government. Exercise 85. What is the reason for the complexity of the relationship between the government and the President in France? A. Direct election of the President, B. Centralization of powers, C. Combination of the presidential and the parliamentary forms of government, C. Combination of the presidential and the parliamentary forms of government, D. Parliament's reduced powers to control the government. The correct answer is C. That is, combination of the presidential and the parliamentary forms of government. Exercise 86. In each of the following countries was proportional representation system given up after a practice of nearly 50 years in favor of fast past the post system? A. Germany, B. France, C. USA, and D. Italy. The correct answer is B. France. Exercise 87. Which of the following characteristics are the combination of features in France? A. Unitary republic parliamentary, B. Unitary republic presidential, C. Unitary republic parliamentary presidential, and D. Federal republic presidential. The correct answer is C. Unitary republic parliamentary presidential. Exercise 88. Through which amendment the presidential tenure has been reduced from 7 years to 5 years? A. Amendment of 2000, B. Amendment of 1993, C. Amendment of 1995, and D. Amendment of 1996. Correct answer is A. That is Amendment of 2000. Exercise 89. The French Constitution of the Fifth Republic is 1. Indivisible, 2. Secular, 3. Democratic, 4. Socialist, 5. Social, and 6. Republic. The correct answer is the proposed answers are A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, B. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, C. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, D. 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. The correct answer is B. That is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1. Indivisible, 2. Secular, 3. Democratic, 5. Social, and 6. Republic. Exercise 90. The President of France is elected by the people through the majority of the votes cast. B. Elected by the people through the majority of the total votes. C. Elected by the Senate and the National Assembly. D. Elected by the Electoral College formed for the purpose. The correct answer is A. Elected by the people through the majority of the votes cast. Exercise 91. The President's powers include 1. Observance of the Constitution, 2. Proper functioning of the government authorities, 3. Observance of the community agreements, 4. Ensuring the integrity of its territory. A. 1, 2, 4, B. 1, 3, 4, C. 1, 2, 3, and D. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 1. Observance of the Constitution, 2. Proper functioning of the government authorities, 3. Observance of the community agreements, and 4. Ensuring the integrity of its territory. Exercise 92. Which of the following is true about the French political system? A. The President is nominated by the National Assembly and the Prime Minister is directly elected by the people. B. The President is elected by an electoral college especially composed for the purpose, and the Prime Minister is nominated by the President. C. The President is elected by the people and the Prime Minister is nominated by the National Assembly and is appointed by the President. D. Both are elected by the people. The correct answer is C. The President is elected by the people and the Prime Minister is nominated by the National Assembly and is appointed by the President. Exercise 93. The President of France dissolves the National Assembly after consulting A. the Prime Minister, B. the President of the National Assembly, C. both A and B, and D. the Constitutional Council. The correct answer is C, that is both A and B. Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitution, exercises, page 16.27, exercise number 94. On which of the following occasions the referendum is sought? A. On the bill relating to the bills passed by the national legislature. B. On the bill relating to the organization of the governmental authorities. C. On the bill relating to the ordinances. D. None of the above. The correct answer is A. On the bill relating to the bills passed by the National Assembly. Legislature. I repeat, A. On the bill relating to the bills passed by the National Legislature. Exercise 95. Who presides over the meetings of the Council of Ministers in France? A. Prime Minister, B. President of the Republic, C. President of the National Assembly, and D. President of the Senate. The correct answer is B, that is President of the Republic. Exercise 96. On the consultation of the following, the President declares the state of emergency. A. Prime Minister, B. President of the National Assembly, C. President of the Constitutional Council, and D. all the above. The correct answer is A, that is Prime Minister. Exercise 97. The members of the Senate are A. Elected indirectly for a period of 9 years, 1/3 retire every year. B. Elected indirectly for a period of 6 years, 1/2 retiring every 3 years. C. Elected directly by the people for 6 years. D. Elected by the people for 6 years, 1/3 retiring every 2 years. The correct answer is B. Elected indirectly for a period of 6 years, 1/2 retiring every 3 years. Exercise 98. The Constitutional Council consists of some members and some ex officio members. These are 1. 3 members appointed by the President, 2. 3 members appointed by the President of the National Assembly, 3 members appointed by the President of the Senate, 4. all the living former presidents. A. 1, 2, 3, B. 1, 2, 3, 4, C. 1, 3, 4, D. 2, 3, 4. The correct answer is A. 1, 2, 3. 1. 3 members appointed by the President. 2. 3 members appointed by the President of the National Assembly. 3 members appointed by the President of the Senate. Exercise 99. Consider the following statements in respect of the Constitution of South Africa. 1. The Constitution of the Republic of South Africa was amended to provide that the Constitutional Court judges are appointed for a non-renewable 10-year term of office or until they reach the age of 70 years. 2. If a bill is rejected by one house, then it is referred back to both the houses, that is the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces, after consideration by the Mediation Committee. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both 1 and 2, and D. neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is 2 only. That is, if a bill is rejected by one house, then it is referred back to both the houses, that is the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces, after consideration by the Mediation Committee. Exercise 100. One of the following number of amendments have been made in the Constitution of South Africa within bracket 2003. A. 18, B. 12, C. 20, and D. 15. The correct answer is B, that is 12. 101. Which of the following are the features of the South African Constitution? A. Rigid federal presidential. B. Rigid federal parliamentary. C. Flexible federal presidential. D. Unitary rigid parliamentary. The correct answer is A, that is rigid federal presidential. Exercise 102. Which of the following is true about the South African? Which of the following is true about the South African presidency? 1. President heads the state. 2. He heads the government. 3. He reigns and rules. 4. He is directly elected. A. 1 and 2, B. 1 and 3, C. 1 and 4, and D. 2 and 3. The correct answer is 1, A. 1 and 2. The correct answer is A. 1 and 2. 1. President heads the state. 2. He heads the government. Exercise 103. The cabinet in South Africa is responsible to A. Parliament collectively only, B. President individually only, C. Parliament individually only, and D. Parliament individually and collectively. The correct answer is D. Parliament individually and collectively. Page exercises, page 16.28. Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitution. Exercise 104. Which of the following is true about the South African Parliament? A. The National Assembly has a 5-year duration. B. The National Assembly is elected by the people indirectly through first past the post. The correct C. The National Council of Provinces is elected by the people. D. There is a supremacy of the Parliament. The correct answer is A. The National Assembly has a 5-year duration. 105. Which of the following is true about the amending process in SA? SA means South Africa. 1. Amendment of Section 1 requires 75% majority of the National Assembly and 6 votes of provinces in Council. 2. Amendment of Chapter 2 requires 2/3 majority of the National Assembly and 6 votes of provinces in the Council. 3. No vote on amendment can be taken within 60 days of the introduction of the amending proposal. 4. The amending process in South Africa, that is SA, is fairly flexible. A 1 and 2, B 3 and 4, C 1 and 3, and D 2 and 4. The correct answer is 1 and 2. That is 1. Amendment of Section 1 requires 75% majority of the National Assembly and 6 votes of provinces in Council. 2. Amendment of Chapter 2 requires 2/3 majority of the National Assembly and 6 votes of provinces in the Council. Exercise 106. The essay, that is South Africa Constitution, contains 1. 243 sections spread over 14 chapters. 2. 12 amendments up to 2003. 3. 7 schedules. The correct A 1, 2, 3, B 1, 3, 4, C 1, 3, 2, 3, 4, and D 1, 2, 4. The correct answer is D. That is 1, 2, 4. 1. 243 sections spread over 14 chapters. I repeat, 1. 243 sections spread over 14 chapters. 2. There is 12 amendments up to 2003. 4. That is a preamble. Exercise 107. Assertion A. The South African Republic is one sovereign democratic state. Reason R. It provides for a non-racialism, non-sexism, and non-despotic political system. A and R are true. R is the correct expression of A. B. A and R are true, but R is not the correct expression of A. C. A is true, R is false. And D. A is false, R is true. The correct answer is B. That is A and R are true, but R is not the expression of A. Exercise 108. The South African Constitution provides which of the following rights to citizens? A. Right to human dignity. B. Right to housing. C. Right to information. And D. All the above. The correct answer is D. That is all the above. 109. Assertion A. The rights given to this SA citizens, South African citizens, are not absolute. Reason R. There are reasonable and justifiable in limitations imposed in terms of laws. A and R are true, R is the correct expression of A. B, A and R are true, but R is not the correct expression of A. C, A is true, R is false. D, A is false, R is true. The correct answer is A. That is A and R are true, R is the correct expression of A. Exercise 110. The declaration of emergency in terms of an act of parliament by the president in itself has a life of A. 14 days, B. 21 days, C. 30 days, and D. 2 months. The correct answer is B. That is 21 days. Exercise 111. Which of the following is there with regard to the declaration of emergency in South Africa? 1. In the first stage, the period of emergency can be extended for not more than 3 months. 2. Any subsequent extension of time is also for not more than 3 months, but it requires a 60% supporting vote. 3. Emergency is declared by the Parliament. 4. Emergency can be declared by the President. The proposed answers are A 1, 2, 3, B 1, 2, 4, C 1, 3, 4, D 2, 3, 4. The correct answer is B 1, 2, and 4. 1. In the first stage, the period of emergency can be extended for not more than 3 months. 2. Any subsequent extension of time is also for not more than 3 months, but it requires a 60% supporting vote. 4. Emergency can be declared by the President. Exercise 112. The SA President can dissolve the National Assembly if 1. The National Assembly passes a resolution by a majority of its members. 2. The period of 3 years has passed since the election of SA National Assembly. 3. The President is satisfied that the dissolution has become necessary. A. 1 and 2, B. 1 and 3, C. Only 1 and D. only 3. The correct answer is A, that is 1 and 2. 1. The National Assembly passes a resolution by a majority of its members. 2. The period of 3 years has passed since the election of South Africa National Assembly. Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitution, Exercises, page 16.29, exercise number 113. Which of the following is true about the composition of the National Council of Provinces (NCP? 1. Each province sends a delegation of 10 members to NCP but has only one vote. 2. One of the delegates from each province has to be the premier of the province or his nominee. 3. The premier or his nominees heads the delegation. 4. NCP can be dissolved by the President. A 2123, B 124, C 134 and D 234. The correct answer is 123. There is 1. Each province sends a delegation of 10 members to NCP but has only one vote. 2. One of the delegates from each province has to be the premier of the province or his nominee. 3. That is, the premier or his nominee heads the delegation. Exercise 114. Exercise 114. In case of disagreement on the bill between the NA and NCP, the bill is referred to A. Mediation Committee consisting of 18 members, 9 from each house. B. Mediation Committee consisting of members, 8 from each house. C. Mediation Committee consisting of 8 members, 4 from each. D. Equal members from both the houses. The correct answer is A, that is Mediation Committee consisting of 18 members, 9 from each other. Exercise 115. Which of the following statements is not correct in respect of China? A. The Cultural Revolution (1609) wrong. Repeat, 1964 to 74 was not a success. B. The Communist Party of China is organized on the basis of democratic centralism. C. The Chinese Constitution provides for a uniform judicial system. D. Mao's ideas of new democracy have been put into practice in China. The correct answer is A. The Cultural Revolution 1964 to 74 was not a success. Exercise 116. Consider the following statements in respect of the Constitution of China. 1. National People's Congress can amend the Constitution and is elected for a period of 5 years. 2. The State Council is the supreme executive organ and comprises the Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister and State Councillors. Which of the statements given above is of the correct? A. 1 only, 2 only, B. 2 only, C. both 1 and 2 and D. neither 1 and 2. 1. National People's Congress can amend the Constitution and is elected for a period of 5 years. 2. The State Council is the supreme executive organ and comprises the Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister and State Councillors. Exercise 117. The responsibility of interpreting and supervision of the implementation of the Constitution of China rests with which one of the following? A. Standing Committee of National People's Congress. B. Supreme People's Court. C. Central Military Commission and D. State Council. The correct answer is A, that is Standing Committee of National People's Congress. Exercise 118. Which of the following is not correct in respect of China? A. The Communist Party of China is organized on the basis of democratic centralism. B. The Chinese Constitution provides for a uniform judicial system. C. Mao's ideas of new democracy have been put into practice. D. The Chinese Constitution provides for a bicameral legislature. The correct answer is D. The Chinese Constitution provides for a bicameral legislature. Exercise 119. The national parliamentary body of China is known as A. State Council, B. National People's Congress, C. People's Assembly, D. Supreme Soviet. The correct answer is B, that is National People's Congress. Exercise 120. Which of the following is not true about People's Republic of China? A. Mao Zedong established an autocratic socialist system in China. B. Deng Xiaoping focused on market-oriented development. C. Living standard of the Chinese people has dramatically changes. D. Political control is not as tight as before. The correct answer is D, that is political control. Political control is not as tight as before. I repeat, D, political control is not as tight as before. Page 16.30. Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitution, Exercises. Exercise number 121. The PRC Constitution has the following features. A. Unitary unicameral legislature republic. B. Federal unicameral legislature republic. C. Unitary bicameral legislature monarchy. D. Federal republic bicameral legislature. The correct answer is A. Unitary, unicameral and republic. Exercise 122. The Constitution of China relates to 1. That the PRC is a social state. 2. That there is People's Republic of China, means PRC. That exercise 122. The Constitution of China states 1. That the PRC is a social state. 2. That there is People's Democratic Dictatorship in China. 3. That there is a dictatorial democracy in China. 4. That there is more dictatorship and less democracy. 1A, 1 and 2, B, 2 and 3, C, 3 and 4, D, 1 and 4. The correct answer is A, 1 and 2. 1. That the PRC is a social state. 2. That there is People's Democratic Dictatorship in China. Exercise 123. The 2004 amendments of the Constitution of China provide 1. Right to private property. 2. Human rights. 3. Compensation for the property taken by the government. 4. Standing committee can amend the Constitution. A, 134, B, 123, C, 124 and D, 234. The correct answer is B, that is 123. 1. Right to private property. 2. Human rights. 3. Compensation for the property taken by the government. Exercise 124. Which of the following has the power to interpret the Constitution's PRC? A. People's Supreme Court. B. Standing Committee. C. State Council and D. National People Congress. The correct answer is B, that is Standing Committee. The correct answer is B, that is Standing Committee. Exercise 125. Match list 1 with list 2 and select the correct code. In the horizontal column, list 1, under list 1 is type of constitution, space list 2, under list 2 is the name of the country. Under list 1 and type of constitution, in the vertical column against serial number A, capital A, Parliamentary Federal Republican, against serial number capital B, Presidential Federal Republican, against serial number capital C, Parliamentary Unitary Monarchical, against serial number capital D, Parliamentary Presidential Unitary Republican. Under list 2 and name of the country, in the vertical column against serial number 1, United Kingdom, serial number 2, France, serial number 3, United States of America, and serial number 4, India. Code in the horizontal column, capital A, B, C, D, capital A space, B space, C space, and capital D. Under capital A in the vertical column against serial number A4, B4, C3, D3. Under capital B against serial number A3, B3, C4, D5. Under capital C against serial number in the vertical column against serial number A1. I repeat, under list 2, name of the country, in the vertical column there is a serial number 5, that is Nigeria. Then code in the horizontal column, capital A space capital B space capital C space capital D. Under capital A in the vertical column against serial number A4, against serial number B4, against serial number C3, serial number D3. Under capital B against serial number A3, B3, C4, D5. Under capital C in the vertical column against serial number A1, B2, C1 and D4. Under capital D in the vertical column against serial number A2, B1, C5 and D1. The correct answer is A. That is under serial number capital A, that is Parliamentary Federal Republican. 4, that is India. Under capital B, Presidential Federal Republican. 3, that is United States of America. Under capital C, that is Parliamentary Unitary Monarchical. 1, that is United Kingdom. Capital D, under capital D, that is Parliamentary cum Presidential Unitary Republican. 2, that is France. Exercise 126. Which among the following was one of the important factors that brought down the authoritarian regime in Poland? A. Collapse of the Berlin Wall. B. Growth of global civil society. C. Growth of solidarity movement. And D. Retirement of Gorbachev. The correct answer is C, that is growth of solidarity movement. Exercise 127. Match list 1 with list 2. In the horizontal column list 1 space list 2. Under list 1 in the vertical column against serial number A, capital A, USA, capital B, Canada, capital C, Nigeria and capital D, India. Under list 2 in the vertical column against serial number 1, 2 states of courts, namely provincial and federal. 2, Union of States. 3, separate constitutions for states. And 4, Senate Electoral Commission of each state. The code in the horizontal column A, capital A space capital B space capital C space capital D. Under capital A in the vertical column against serial number A1, serial number B3, serial number C3, serial number D1. Under capital B in the vertical column against serial number A3, B1, C1, D3. Under serial number capital C against serial number A2, B2, C4, D4. Under serial number capital D against serial number A4, B4, C4, C2, D2. The correct answer is C. That is under serial number A, USA. 3, that is separate constitutions for states. Under serial number capital under capital B, that is Canada. 1, that is 2 states of courts, namely provincial and federal. Under capital C, Nigeria. 4, separate electoral commission for each state. Under capital D, India. 2, that is Union of States. Exercise 128. Match list 1 countries with list 2 types of political system. And in the horizontal column list 1 space list 2. Under list 1 in the vertical column against capital A, China, capital B, Germany, capital C, France, capital D, South Africa. Against list 2 in the vertical column against 1, Federal Representative Democratic Republic. 2, Sovereign Democratic Republic. 3, People's Democratic Socialist Republic. 4, Indivisible, Secular Democratic Republic. Code in the horizontal column capital A, capital B, space capital B, space capital C, space capital D. Under capital A in the vertical column against serial number A4, B3, C4, D3. Under capital B in the vertical column against serial number A2, B1, C1, D2. Under capital C in the vertical column against serial number A3, B4, C3, D4. And serial number capital D in the vertical column against serial number A1, B2, C2 and D1. The correct answer is B. That is under serial number capital A, that is China. 3, that is People's Democratic Socialist Republic. Under capital B, that is Germany. 1, that is Federal Representative Democratic Republic. Under capital C, that is France. 4, that is Indivisible, Secular Democratic Republic. Under capital D, that is South Africa. 2, that is Sovereign Democratic Republic. I repeat, code in the horizontal column capital A, capital B, capital C, capital D. Under capital A in the vertical column against serial number A4, serial number B3, serial number C4, serial number D3. Under capital B in the vertical column against serial number A2, B1, C1, D2. Under capital C in the vertical column against serial number A3, B4, C3, D4. Under capital D in the vertical column against serial number A2, B2, C2, D1. The correct answer is B, that is under capital A, that is China. 3, that is People's Democratic Socialist Republic. Under capital B, that is Germany. 1, that is Federal Representative Democratic Republic. Under capital C, that is France. 4, that is Indivisible Secular Democratic Republic. Under D, South Africa. 2, that is Sovereign Democratic Republic. Chapter 16, Typologies of Constitutions, Exercises, page 16.31, exercise number 129. Match list 1 with list 2. In the horizontal column, list 1 space list 2. Under list 1 in the vertical column, against serial number A, Constitutional Monarchy. Against serial number B, Republic. Against serial number C, Socialist. Against serial number D, non-racial. Under list 2 in the vertical column, against serial number 1, Germany. Serial number 2, United Kingdom. Serial number 3, South Africa. Serial number 4, China. Code in the horizontal column, A, capital A space capital B space capital C space capital D. Under capital A in the vertical column, against serial number A3, serial number B2, serial number C3, 2, and serial number D4. Under serial number capital B, against serial number A4, B1, C1, D3. Under serial number capital C, against serial number A4, B4, C3, D1. Under serial number capital D, against serial number A2, B3, C4, and D2. The correct answer is B. That is under serial number capital A, Constitutional Monarchy. 2, that is United Kingdom. Under serial number capital B, Republic. 1, that is Germany. Under serial number capital C, Socialist. 4, that is China. Under serial number capital D, non-racial. 3, that is South Africa. Exercise 130. United Kingdom and the USA have which of the following features as common? A, republicanism. B, federalism. C, party system. And D, collective responsibility. The correct answer is C, that is party system. Exercise 131. United Kingdom and the USA have which of the following difference in their political system? A, democratic tradition. B, welfarism of the people. C, speaker presiding over the lower house of the legislature. And D, form of government. Correct answer is D, that is form of government. Exercise 132. The USA and South Africa have which of the following common feature in their constitution? A, presidential form of government. B, president is elected by the legislature. C, ministers responsible to the parliament. D, similar method of amending the constitution. A, presidential form of government. Exercise 133. The South African constitution and the French constitution have the following feature which is not common. A, method of the election of the president. B, republicanism. C, democratic system. D, constitutional polity. The correct answer is A, method of the election of the president. Exercise 134. The French and the German constitutions have the following common feature. A, election of the president is similar. B, duration of the upper chambers member is the same. C, both are unitary systems. And D, office of the head of the government. The correct answer is D, that is office of the head of the government. Exercise 135. The German and the Chinese constitutions have the following feature in common. A, Germany and China are both non-socialist states. B, both are unitary states. C, both have a unicameral legislature. D, both are republics. The correct answer is D, that is both are republics. Exercise 136. China and the United Kingdom have the following commonality in their respective political systems. A, revolutionary traditions. B, unicameral legislature. C, republicanism. And D, unitary form of government. The correct answer is D, that is unitary form of government. Exercise 137. There is a provision for seeking referendum on the amendment of the constitution in the following country. A, South Africa. B, China. C, France. And D, Germany. The correct answer is C, France. Exercise 138. One of the following states has the 5-year term of the lower house of the legislature. A, United States. B, Germany. C, South Africa. And D, Switzerland. The correct answer is C, that is South Africa. Exercise 139. One of the following states does not have any provision for a constitutional court. A. South Africa, B. Germany, C. United Kingdom, and D. France. The correct answer is C, that is United Kingdom. Exercise 140. One of the following countries has named its upper chamber as Senate. A. United Kingdom, B. South Africa, C. United States of America, and D. China. The correct answer is C, that is United States of America.